Today we're going to be adding a couple more things into our haunted house. So stick around if you want to see what's going inside. Hello and welcome back to a spooky kooky corner of YouTube where we are adding to the haunted house project that we started a few weeks ago. So we have got our little kooky cat, we've got a spooky ghosty, and we've got a stack of pumpkins in the set already. I don't know about you, but I have seen a lot of the thing that I'm going to put in here next around on the internet, so on Instagram, Facebook Shorts. There are a couple of YouTube videos, and there's a couple in particular that I'll mention in the description box that I learnt how to make this from. And it is these guys. So the little spooky skeletons. These are Macrame skeletons, and I thought they'd be a great addition to my spooky house. Now I'm trying to decide whether to put them in the big one there. I'm trying to decide whether to put them in the attic. I don't know, I'm not sure yet. But if you want to make some, I'll put a link in the description box below, and I'll just go through how I put mine together. I'm thinking also that I might not always want that on the top of there, but I'm thinking of a way to attach a keyring onto the top instead. There are many ways you can put these together. If you have a hunt around for the little Macrame skeletons, you will find a tutorial which is going to be much better than what I'm going to show you now, because we're going to put one together on the channel just to show you how I put mine together. So let's move this out of the way and we'll get some threads and such and have a go. So to make your skeleton, you will need some 3mm braided cord. I got mine in white and black from a company called Bobbiny, who seem to be a really good company, and they do lots and lots of different colours. Very tempted to get some orange as well and some green to make some monsters in the similar way. So those are the ones that I got. It's a junior 3mm braided cord. So I got that in white and black. I also already had these, which are the 20mm heads. Now what I did with these, because they already had faces on them, but I wanted spooky faces, was I painted them white and then drew a little face on there. But then I saw that they did actual white, these were on Amazon, actual white beads already painted white, which cut out a little bit of the job. If you want to make a lot of these to give away or to give as presents and things, you've actually got them in a white here. And what I did was I've got my black pen. I'll show you what I did. So find the thin end of that. Where's the thin end? That one. So I've got a black acrylic marker, and you just carefully draw on some long ovals onto this, like so. I do 2 little marks for his face like that, and I want to just balance, take you down a little bit further. And I'm just going to draw his mouth, some little lines going through, and you've got your skeleton face. You can play around with it, have whatever kind of a face you want on it. They're a little fiddly to hold, but they're all fine. So, and these dry up really nicely and work brilliantly. What I'm going to do with mine is this one here. I've got a sharpened dowel stick, and I'm just going to stick it on there until that one dries off properly. And that'll be fine to use in about half an hour or so. But in time-honoured fashion, one that I already made. So these ordinary wooden ones you could just paint up with a craft paint. I've got this folk art acrylic. It's a matte acrylic paint, this one. And then I just coated them with a matte varnish just to make sure that it wasn't going to come off. So you will need your macrame cord. What they say in the instructions for this is find the end with the knot on it and then pull it from there. Don't undo the whole thing or you'll end up with a right old ravelly mess. Find the knot and then just pull it out and keep it all inside its little casing like that. So that's a recommended tip there. You don't want to end up with a whole host of knotted cord that's just going to drive you insane. So we've got two lengths here. We've got a 45 and a 40, I think it's 40, yes it is, a 40 centimetre length and a 45 centimetre length. The first one you're going to need is the 40 length like that. And what we do is turn it around. Is that how we do it? I'm trying to remember now, brain's gone dead. And you get some pins. That's the other thing I need. So I'll just go and grab those. So you lay out your 40 centimetre piece of cord and find a spot. You can do this on a cork board. I've got a felt mat underneath here and I'm just pinning down to where I want it to be. It's kind of not quite halfway. So there, like that. Then you get your longer length, so this one here, and you want to find the middle. So find in the middle. Be careful because it's stretchy, so you don't want to be pulling it. You want to find the middle bit. What I do is I flip that over and I put that in the middle and then bring these back over like that. Right, this confused me to heck for a while because I've never done macrame. This is the first time I've ever done it. So as I say, go and watch one of the ones I've recommended in the description box. This is me fiddling it around. Basically what I did was I made like a reverse D with that one. And this one comes over the top of that one and goes under that loop there and then comes up through that D from the bottom. And then you can tighten it up like so. Then you do the reverse. So you do your D the right way around on that side. That comes over the top of that one, underneath there and up through the bottom. Like so. Let's tighten that one up. So now you've got your square knot and you can pull that up as well. It will move, so you can change it where you want it. Right, then you repeat that. So we do this, we need 3 square knots. So 2 of those repeated makes your square knot. So we'll do it again. Over the top of that one, underneath that loop there, up through the bottom of that one. And then make your knot. The reverse, so D shape, over the top of that loose thread, underneath the loop, and then it comes up through the bottom of there. That's 2 of our 3 square knots done already. They're really quick to make once you get into them. Honestly, I know I'm making it look laborious, but seriously, it's quite quick. Okay, so reverse D, over the top, underneath the loop. There's going to be a quicker way of doing this for sure. I'm sure people who can do macrame are shouting at me right now. But this is the way I learned how to do it. Then proper D, over the top of the loose end, underneath the loop, bring it up through the bottom of that loop there, and tighten it off. And you've got your 3 rib loops there. This is going to be making it part of the body. At this point you can pull this up and down to adjust how big your loop is going to be or however much you need left over. But for me that's fine. I can take my pins out now. The next thing I do is to get my bead, and this is going to feed up the middle of there. So the way I get it to go through, you could thread another thread through and pull it through, but I do it this way. There are a few ways out on the internet of getting your loop through. I just find keep twisting it, she said, because the hole is quite big, and if you can make your cord nice and, because it's come up there, look, just pop it down like that. So he's on there. Now you can two ways this. You could do a knot that sits on the top of his head. I want to try and figure out a way where I've just got a small amount of cord and I can just attach a hanging key ringy kind of thing to him. But for now, we'll show you this. This is how I just learned how to do it. If you want to, you can leave his head loose so you can position it in different directions. I don't really mind if it's just stuck in one position. So what I'm going to do, I've got this clear tacky glue, and I just put a bit around his neck there and a bit around the back of his neck there. And I'm back on there like that. Whoops, stand up. And then we'll pull that down. And if you've got a little bit of excess around the bottom, just wipe it off with your finger. But usually that's fine. And what I do is I tend to leave that to set for a little bit so that it doesn't wobble around. But I'm just going to continue with this one for now to show you how to do it. The rest of it's really, really simple. You want to make a knot about where an elbow might come, so thereabouts. So you just put a little knot in there. And you can move your knot up and down until you get it in the place where you want it to be, and then just tighten it off like so. Do the same one on the other side. So round there, through there, bringing it up, making sure it's about the same length as the other one. Fasten it off. Yeah, it's about the same-ish. Pull it up a little bit more, tight. Then you want one where the elbow to the end of your hand is going to be. So another one there, about there. Pull that out. Same on the other side. Just one knot. I suppose you could put a dab of glue on these if you wanted to. If you wanted to be supremely sure, I'm just making sure that that's going to be about the same length as the other one. There we go. And once you've got that, then you get your pair of scissors. And I like to leave a little bit on the end just to show where the hands are. Probably that's a little bit long there. Take it off a bit shorter. And that one off a little tad shorter. And that's his arms. Legs are in a similar fashion, so you will put a knot in there. Tighten it up. Same on the other side. Make sure they're about the same length. Tighten it up. There we go. And then again for the feet. So that one's going to come there-ish. And then one at the end of here. And I don't really need to take much off of the length of these for the feet, but I will just trim the ends because why not? Like so. This little, just a tiny little trim to neaten it up. And there we have our little skeleton boy. And you can do him in black as well. I think I showed you the black one. Yeah, here he is. So you can have like a black one or a white one or both, or just do a whole host of these little white ones here. And I've also seen on one of the videos that somebody did, I'll link below, I'll try and remember the names of everybody and link below. She did a Frankenstein's monster, which was in green cord, looked really good. And somebody did one of the skeletons with a pumpkin head on, which looks fabulous also. So you can vary that. You could do a pumpkin head for the top of your skeleton if you wanted to. So you could have this black one with like an orange pumpkin head. I might try that at some point as well, because I'm going to give some away as gifts to people of these. So now I've just got to figure out how to put it in my house and which hole it's going to go in. So there they are. So let's grab our house up. I don't know whether to put twins in or to put just one in. I did have a thought that I might have him hanging from the front at the top there, so you could sit in there, watch the world go by. And I could put two in there either. What do you think? Leave me a note in the comments. Do they go hanging in the top, or do I find a place to hang them on the sides here so that they can dangle down? Or do they go in the main bit? I wanted to put something else in the main bit. Actually, I've got an idea for something else to go in there. So these are a little bit too small. So I kind of think the attic is a place for them to go. But what do you think? Leave me a little note in the comments as to where you think those two should fit. So for the next thing I'm going to put in my little haunted house is this little guy. I have recently rewatched Spirited Away. It is one of my favourite things. So I really recently watched it and saw the Soot Sprites. And the Soot Sprites are kind of little creatures who live in abandoned places. They show up a couple of times to my knowledge, probably in other things as well. But they were in Totoro and Spirited Away. Spirited Away, they work in the bathhouse. They're very, very strong, and they've got a spell on them to make them work harder, basically. And they get paid with these little candies, Japanese candies, and that's what the star is, the star-shaped candies. So I thought, I'm going to make myself a Soot Sprite for the house. So here he is. I'm going to take you through the making of the Pom Pom, because that's basically what he is, just a Pom Pom with some little stick-on googly eyes and a pipe cleaner, which is then slotted into the little star. So to make him, you make the Pom Pom in the same way that I'm going to show you, and you just slot through a pipe cleaner and then use the ends of the wire of the pipe cleaner to slot a little star on. So he's got a little star to hold. So he's going to go in my house. But I thought there is a lot of variations that you can make with a Pom Pom. So let's pop him. Where I'm going to put him. Stay there, boy. Now, this one I brushed it out. So this one was an unbrushed one. This one is brushed out, and I think he's going to make a great one-eyed monster. So I'm going to trim off these bottom bits here, like so, and get me googly eyes, and he's just going to have one eye right in the middle there. I love him. These are really great little gifts to give for kids and such. Not young babies, because of the detachableness of this. You'd have to think of another way of putting an eye on if it was going to be a really young child, but teenagers. Also, I used to use these to keep quiet in the younger groups. So I had a few of these, and if they were working quietly, I'd put one on their desk and it would keep them company. But if they started being noisy, then I'd take it away again, say that he didn't like the noise. He just likes nice quiet. So he likes to sit with people who are being quiet. And they all loved it. Not so much, I don't know, the year 11s might have liked it as well. Maybe. But if they manage to keep it all the way through the lesson, then I'd maybe give it to them at the end. But yeah, so those are two options. And then I thought we might do a little like ghosty sprite one. So I'm going to show you through that one because it's the same method for all of them. You need a small Pom Pom maker. This is a clover one. Not quite sure of the sizing of this one, but it makes them about this size. It's like palm size. So I'm going to get this one prepared. And I've got some, it's just ordinary acrylic yarn. This is just an ordinary Stylecraft double knitting acrylic. And yes, you can brush it out. Yes, it will brush out. I'm just figuring out, my brain's gone to sleep. I've slept overnight. You know, I've forgotten what I'm doing with myself. Okay, so I think this is like teaching my granny to suck eggs, but I'm sure some of you might not have used these before, perhaps. So you start off at one side and you are filling in so you're just winding around your yarn. I've just managed to wrap this around my scissors, bear with. There we go, put them out of the way. You just wind it round and you just keep winding. It's quite a nice thing to do if you're sitting watching the TV or something, or, you know, not doing anything where you need to use your mind in particular. It's quite a nice, relaxing thing to do. You're just winding. I'll just unwind a bit more of my yarn. In fact, I'm going to dangle it down there so that it unwinds. And what you are intending to do on this side is to fill up that centre bit there to make sure that that has got a lot of yarn in it. Obviously, you want the other bits to have it as well. You don't want to go over the feet on either side. You just want to keep winding, because if you do skinny pom-poms, they tend to fall apart. I like a nice big fluffy one to work with. So I'm going to keep going till my middle's full. I'd say that's pretty much there. And then you kind of transverse over to the other side. So you want to fill up this end as well. So this all gets wound and wound, wound around like so. Really simply. Just keep going until you fill up your pom-pom. You can do this with the old method as well, where we used to use 2 pieces of cardboard. You can do it with a fork. I've seen people make pom-poms with forks before also. And I just find this really easy to use. It's just a really easy tool to use. Right, I'm just going to wrap that around there for a minute to hold that in place. And we put that one back over there and that one over there like that. And then comes the fun bit. I'm just going to move those over to one side like so. You have to cut down the middle. So I'm just going to cut off. Helps if I use proper scissors, doesn't it? There we go. Cut off there. And then I'm going to use my sharp scissors to cut all the way down through all the little threads. Like so. Turn it around. Do the same on the other side. It gives you a nice little central slot to work with as well. Kind of like down the middle, you've got somewhere for your scissors to go, which is handy. This is the important bit. Do not open it at this point in time. Cut yourself off another piece of yarn, and what you want to do is slot it through the middle. And you want to pull a really tight tight as you can knot, and I double knot it like this, really tight. And just to be sure, I take it through to the other side as well. Double knot it. 1, 2. And you want this to be tight so that when we do the next bit, it doesn't all fall out. So we can open it out. I'm going to just snip these bits off because they're going to get snipped anyway. And this one comes out like that, and then it comes apart like magic. Well, it should do. If I had actually unwound the bit, I should have unwound there. It comes apart. Yay! So now we have an almost finished pom-pom. Now the next thing to do with these is to kind of roll them between your fingers, and you can see the bits that are sticking up. And you want to trim them. So trimming them down. There's the next bit. And then just give them a roll. And you want to be making a nice circular pom-pom. Let's give it a roll. These pom-pom makers come in different sizes as well. I think I've got all the sizes now because I make them for my hats in winter. I like to make a nice pom-pom to go on my hat. Spend as much time as you like trimming these down. I tend to sit with a tray on my knee to catch all the little bits because you can see they do make quite a bit of mess, giving your pom-poms a haircut. But I think they're really cute. There's a bit of a haircut there. I'm just trying to keep that shape. Occasionally giving it a roll in my hands to make sure I can see where the bits that need trimming are. Yeah, we got a pom-pom. And then you can get your googly eyes out. Again, I'll get 2 more of my stick-on googly eyes. That's 1. And that's 2. I love them so much. Anyway, that's 3 variations from one pom-pom. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, my little Soot sprite is going to go in the house. So I'm going to clear up a bit, grab my house out and see where I'm going to put him. Okie dokie. So here he is. He's so cute. I do like the very fluffy versions of these as well. I think they're quite cute also. You could fit in there maybe. It might be overkill. I will put my Soot sprite in this bottom corner here. Or do I want him to go there? Kind of looks nice there. Yeah. So I've got 2 sections left to fill up, and then we can decorate with some trim around the edges and stuff. So I've got 1 more episode left to make another couple of things for this, and I'm trying to use different methods. If you've got any suggestions of things, do pop them in the description box below, and I'll have a go at putting those together as well. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking I want a spider somewhere. But if you've got any other ideas, as I say, everybody's looking for different ideas. Please pop down your ideas of what you'd put in your haunted house underneath the description in the comment section. I'm sure I would love to see what you're going to put inside if you're going to make one as well. I'm still undecided about these guys as well, so I want you to tell me whether I need to hang them or just sit them in that little hole there at the top. I'm leaving it up to you guys just to decide. It's probably the best because my brain is addled from making all my little home sweet home swaps. My desk looks like it looks like an annihilation station at the minute. It needs a really good clean. This small space is the only bit that's clean on a very, very big desk. Just telling you. Anyway, that's enough waffle from me. I hope to be back with you very, very soon to share something else. Bye for now.